The royal family, a symbolic gesture of the old establishment with no power, or something else. We're going to take a look at that in this video, but specifically, when you look at the royal family, especially news coverage of the royal family, what you're seeing is mostly absolute hooey celebritard nonsense instead of the actual real issues that deserve to be talked about. Here we go. First article, a guide to royal family titles, from the Queen's specific styling to Prince Harry's Scottish moniker. I don't even know what a moniker is. Is that what the like peanut dude wears in his eyeball?
That is a
It's Meghan
monocle,
Markle.
Luke. That is a monocle. It is a completely
Whatever. I
different
don't care.
apparatus.
I don't have my pinky up when I drink my tea. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get here. Is Meghan Markle the best thing to happen to the royal family? Prince Harry and Meghan have their own Instagram now as the royal couple split up. Has the royal what? Come on, what is this bull? Come on, gosh darn it! I'm sick of just people worshiping other people just because of their title, and I believe they perpetrate the worst kind of social norms in our society. Not only because they're inbred, but also, Jason, because they're corrupt and tied in with a lot of creepy individuals. Just two to name here: Jimmy Savile, Jeffrey Epstein. You want to go down some rabbit holes? Google those two people, Jimmy Savile, Jeffrey Epstein. But Jason, let's talk about their actual power here, as we have three news articles that are very, very interesting and shed a light on a lot of important things around the royal family, with them connected to intelligence agencies and also secret government documents that no one is supposed to have, right, Jason?
Yeah. So again, I've been railing on this for decades now, it feels like, but it's well over 10 years, that the royal family has tons of political power, that this is an illusion that they do not. And, you know, Luke, when you talk about Jeffrey Epstein, you're talking about his connection to Prince Andrew, the brother of Charles and the son of Queen Elizabeth. Now, we have this story today. This is 2019, folks, April 7th, just so everybody understands. This is not old. But, Prince William works with security agencies on attachment. And then you can look at the Guardian headline, on his granny's Secret Service, Prince William interns at MI5, MI6, and the General Collection Headquarters, the GCHQ, the main intelligence service there. What does this mean? Well, it obviously means, number one, the royal family is the monarchy is completely protected by the government in the United Kingdom. The palace is paid for by the taxpayers. Okay? These people have all sorts of government powers that they try to act like they have none. Well, if that was the case, why is this guy spending 3 weeks on the inside of basically their FBI, their CIA, and their NSA? That's what those three agencies mean. All right? And then
I mean, Jason, really quick before we jump to the next one, to be trained in one of these intelligence agencies, I know one intelligence agency specifically, is an extremely intensive task. I mean, we're talking about, to just get in there, people have to go under so many psychological, mental tests, breakdown tests. I remember hearing one story where even to be a part of one of these intelligence agencies, people were just randomly strung up in a little box and were there confined for an unknown amount of time that they were told, wasn't really, exact. That they weren't told exactly how long they would be tied up on there, but it ended up being hours. I remember one individual telling me how he had to, defecate and urinate on himself. This is just one of the training facilities tests that they run on you to be a part of these like intelligence agencies. It's extremely, extremely, extremely intense, which is very fascinating to see him now having access to all of this. And I bet most likely he didn't go through some of the gruesome testing to be allowed into these upper echelons intelligence agencies.
Yeah, absolutely, Luke. And it's actually public knowledge as soon as you start looking that the Queen has surpassed Charles and gone to Prince William to give him what? Government powers that she had. Let's repeat that. They have shadow government powers. And a lot of people thought that this was a snub to Charles, but hey, don't worry. Charles has access to unacceptable top secret government papers as well. This is an article all the way back in 2015. This was not a large scandal. This was not publicized. As you scroll through this and you see the circulation of the documents that this guy had, he had no business on the surface having this stuff. Confidential, cabinet memoranda. Believe me, these people have access to everything and anything they want. When they say that Prince William is training with MI5, MI6, and GHCQ, that is basically just enabling him and telling him how he's going to receive his intelligence proposals and all these different things that have to do with his everyday day-to-day, okay? It's not just a show, Luke. That's what I'm trying to tell people here. These are unelected elites that rule by bloodline. And the parliament, MI5, MI6, all that stuff ultimately answers to them. And what are they? They are an unelected body of billionaires. All right? It's crazy to me. And when I talk about this stuff, Luke, I think that it's important to talk about the United Kingdom because they are obviously the most visible to people as royalty. Again, we raise our children. Oh, my son is a king. My daughter is a princess. You know, we build them up that royalty is great. Well, is the Saudi Arabian kingdom great? Isn't that royalty too? Isn't that rule by bloodline? Isn't that disturbing to anybody else? So I'm just going to say it for the 10,000th time. I'm not here to destroy the royal family, but there is no way that they should be protected by the government, that they should have a tax-free haven, the royal palace, that should be turned into a museum. Listen, it's their private property. They want to turn it into a business, a museum, that's great. They should not have the equivalent to Secret Service protection, none of that. They're not government officials. God save the Queen, my ass. I'm done. All right? I don't care if somebody's wearing a crown or a funny hat. That doesn't make them an authority to me. I thought this was 2019. I thought that we judged people based on the content of their character and their actions and not who their father or mother was. And that's what's really disturbing. You know, we're living in this society now where they still, to this day, are pushing these royals as more than celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Celebrities with government powers. And I think that's extremely dangerous. Unaccountable celebrities with government powers, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, we bring up a lot of things to be very critical of this family, and we got to understand we shouldn't treat someone differently because of a caste system, because of a bloodline that has been interbred. When you interbreed people, especially amongst families, which the royal families have historically done, they also have a groom of the stool. You really want to look up something interesting, Google groom of the stool. That'll bring you down a different rabbit hole. I don't know if you want to go down there, but regardless of that, again, the bloodline with interbreeding comes a lot of physical, mental problems as well. And we got to understand here, they're one of the biggest recipients of government welfare. Where's all the tough line conservatives saying, yeah, enough of this welfare to these royal families? Let's just end it. And why are they still so prevalent? And why are they still so propped up? And why is there still so much secrecy, around it? And that's why I believe, Jason, there's a lot of kind of theories out there that specifically talk about how the old establishment just kind of didn't transition its power, but made it more covert with more of supposed democratic institutions that really ultimately still wield and work for the same powers. That's been a bigger kind of theory out there, conspiracy theory out there that has been perpetrated by a lot of people. But looking at some of the power, I think it's very possible that the old order just disguised their power since they're so prevalent, not only in the media, not only in our society. There's so much of just them being worshipped. And now this other aspect, the secret government aspect, raises a lot more questions than answers about that kind of bigger theory out there. What do you think about that? And what do you think about their kind of connections to Jimmy Savile, Jeffrey Epstein? That's a whole nother rabbit hole that we could go down here, Jason.
Yeah, so those that don't know, when we talk about Jeffrey Epstein, it was Prince Andrew that was riding around on his private jets with him, going to Little St. James Island, and allegedly by numerous Jane Doe victims and some people that have actually named their names, sexually assaulting teenagers in their 14, 15, 16-year-old range. Again, those are alleged because there hasn't been a court case where Prince Andrew has been tried for these supposed crimes. And then you talk about Jimmy Savile. There are articles out there where Prince Charles talked about Jimmy Savile as a possible godfather to his sons. This is the same guy, all right, that posthumously was outed as not only raping children in hospices, okay, think how dark that is, but also having sex with elderly corpses. And if you want to see some really interesting things on Jimmy Savile, I suggest you type in Margaret Thatcher, Jimmy Savile, giant check. And what's he holding a giant check for, Luke? Well, it's a nice big old check for what? Underprivileged kids. So
Yeah. Wow.
on the
That's
appearance,
terrifying, dude. That's absolutely terrifying. Before you finish off your point, I mean, the BBC knowingly covered up this entire scandal. Reporters who dared report on this, there was one even found dead from, of course, mysterious circumstances. When obviously, come on, she was connecting the dots here. And this is an important aspect to bring up because I would call these instances just satanic. Absolutely purest of evil that you could imagine that Jimmy Savile was a part of, and he was protected by the upper establishment in the United Kingdom. He passed away without facing any form of justice for his horrendous abuse, for his horrendous crimes against the people in the United Kingdom. Absolutely insane, Jason. Sorry, finish off your point.
yeah, no, so again, this guy who you're seeing, here's his checks with Margaret Thatcher. Here's a £500,000 check contribution from DHSS. All this stuff for what? The hospital trust. Again, this guy embedded himself in these places. You can't tell me that MI5 and MI6 don't vet dangerous people because they're involved with the royal family. So obviously, intelligence agencies knew that this man was a pedophile. We also know from that same Operation U-Tree investigation that outed other people like Gary Glitter that Ted Heath, the former UK Prime Minister, was also called a serial pedophile. Okay, this is the guy that was supposedly the head of the country. And no one seems to talk about it. Same era, right around here. The BBC had this guy as a DJ. What that really means is he was a TV personality who was introducing music, basically, the BBC's version of MTV at the time. And they made this guy into a larger-than-life character who had access to children. This guy, this creepbag, okay, this is the guy that the royal family thought, yeah, why wouldn't he be the godfather of Prince William or Prince Harry? So again, this started out as a video just about government power within the royal family. It goes far beyond that with government cover-ups due to the royal family as well.
Yeah, what else do you expect with unchecked powers? And that's why power needs to be held accountable and have some transparency behind it, which there's very little of when it comes to this royal family and their access to even more power. And that's why we're here questioning it. And I wanted to ask you guys specifically, what power do you think the royal family still has? Let us know in the comment section below. We always look forward to hearing back from you because, hey, without you guys, we wouldn't be here. Check out some t-shirts too. You guys buying t-shirts keeps us alive, financially stable here as an independent media outlet. We're here mainly because of you, and that's why I love you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.